company was founded in 1923, making metal parts and accessories to the Franklin automobile. I mean, how they made it through the Great Depression, I mean, that's just remarkable. But my grandfather, a milestone would be my grandfather's introduction to Morse manufacturing, and then the subsequent idea of coming up with a drum handling product. A huge milestone, because that became the focus of the company thereafter. Being able to expand what they were doing through a distribution network to a nationwide audience. That had a huge, lasting, profound impact on the legacy of the organization. Without that, I don't think we would be where we are today at 100 years old. My father's involvement in the introduction of pneumatics and hydraulics and electronics into drum handling equipment. Before that, most everything was mechanical leverage. My father was really gifted at being able to bring some of that to the forefront.
Working at Morse became more than a job to me. It became something that I was really enjoying, I really loved. And in a family business, those values are very, very critical, and you share those with your employees. But my father had always been a very caring person, reinvesting, trying to build a business.
As well as to have these lasting employee relationships that we still have today. We have an individual right now who was hired by my grandfather.
Late 67, Ralph Andrews, he hired me, and Ralph Andrews was a fantastic employer. He helped his men. He was a person that would do anything for you. Well, I've been here going on 56 years, so, and it's I'm happy to be part of it. I'm happy to have 3 generations under my belt that I've worked for, and I enjoyed all 3 of them.
My favorite thing here is that it's a little bit different every day. Every day is something new, and I mean, I met my husband here, so that's exciting. I think it's a great working culture here. We all help each other out. Everyone is cross-trained, so everyone can jump in and work with someone else if you're having a day where it's just not going your way. I think Nate really saw something in me. I also didn't come in with any social media experience other than I had social media. And when we were sitting down and talking about things that I liked or things that were different, he really pushed me in that direction and gave me a chance that I don't think I would have had anywhere else.
I've been at Morse for 44 years. I started in 1977. Yeah, I started as just drilling holes. And as the years went on, I got more involved in the products, and became a group leader eventually. And I was doing more fixture and tool making and product improvement. And then eventually, as the plant manager retired, I took over for him, and that's what I retired at, was plant manager. Towards the end of my career, I was highly involved in building this new building with Nate, and designing and going through the whole thing, and laid out a whole new company from a clean sheet. Actually, I did most of it on SketchUp, which is a computer program, and we laid out the whole building, and it became over a 2-year period, probably, it became a beautiful building that we're in now. Well, the Andrews have always, they've always been very family oriented, and they've always tried to treat the employees like family. I worked for all 3 generations, and it's been a great run. I've never been laid off, not one day, even through all of COVID. We figured out ways to keep the plant open, and I was 22 when I started, and unmarried, and when I retired, I was married with 4 daughters And my third grandchild is going to be here any day. So it's been a pretty secure company. Good place to work.
Nate's very family oriented, so when I came here, I was kind of looking for that atmosphere. In a manufacturer, I like working for a manufacturing company. Everyone gets along quite well. There's, mutual respect, and you take care of your work. There's no pressure from Nate or a boss. It's pretty much up to you to get your stuff done. I definitely think they'd see a good future here with Nate at the helm. He's always has projects going, new ideas, he's going to expand quite a bit internationally. It's a very well-run family business, and it's great to see a third generation.
I first came on as working in manufacturing, working on machinery. And then I proceeded after a year or so, taking over shipping and receiving for about 2.5 years. And then when Bob came on, he asked me if I wanted to take over purchasing, and it evolved from there to last for 38 years. Just being personal with the salespeople that came in, and getting to know them, even though they're family. So we had an opportunity to talk and see how everything went. Obviously, you're trying to do the best you can with the company by getting the best price, best delivery, and that all reflected on the bottom line of the company. So I retired in 2011 or 12. It was a great company. It still is a great company. It was very enjoyable experience, obviously being there 38 years.
Fundamentally, you need as many suppliers that can quote on products so you can get competitive pricing. So I've always opened it up to whoever I felt was credible enough to quote, and I would give them the time of day to come in and talk to me, sit down. The future outlook for Morse is very positive. Newer technology, investment, reaching out to dealers where we might not, in areas of the world that we've never really prospected before. And I would say the biggest reason for that is the Andrews family, now Nate being president, looking towards the future.
I had just got out of OCC and I went down there, and Robert Andrews hired me. Ralph Andrews was still active then. Robert was the vice president, and I ended up in the shipping department. I started at Morse Manufacturing in 1977, and then eventually I went up part-time sales on the phone, customer service, for a number of years, and then I ended up being the sales manager. I retired in 2021 after 43 years. Well, what it is, it's a small family-owned company, so as long as you do a good job, show up every day, willing to learn, you can advance, and they usually promote from within. And then, again, in customer service, I was the type of guy that I'd like to talk to people on the phone, but not just about the nuts and bolts. Maybe talk about how's the weather in Dallas, how are the Yankees going to do in New York. Get to know the people, and it makes it a lot more fun. And lo and behold, when they would call, they would ask for Phil. We increased sales a lot, but we had fun doing it, getting to know dealers, going out to Modex in Atlanta, going out to ProMat in Chicago, having dinner with these guys, doing things with them, really building relationships once you meet them in person and that. Morse is one of the best. When you're with a family-owned company, here they know who you are, they know who your wife is, they know who your kids are, and we know their wife and their kids too. So everyone takes great pride in their job, from assembling the product to painting the product to shipping it out the door. That's why I stood here 43 years, and I advanced and ended up with a job that I loved, and the company just kept growing every year. And since I've left, it's kept growing every year. And boy, just a good place to work. And we had fun here too.
You can't do it on your own. You need a community, and that means a community of employees, a community of end users, of dealers, of suppliers.
One of the first people I met when I came to Syracuse was Bob Andrews, who reached out to me, invited me and to probably the first Manufacturers Association meeting I ever attended. And we made a niche in high precision, high speed gearing that became critical for companies who were building equipment that had to run quiet or needed to be very, very precise. I would certainly agree with Bob that American manufacturing is important.
American manufacturing is under fire all the time, and Morse is no different. There's people that have copied their designs, and they have done a great job of selling value added. Their product is a quality product too. I'm certain that theirs is the best quality product on the market. That they're here in America, they can respond, they can talk to you directly. I wanted to reiterate what I said about them being so in tune with the community. It's amazing what they do. If people are looking for a quality product, they definitely want to go with Morse.
They were continue to be a great organization. I was very impressed to watch how Andrews operated in their family business. They were truly a family organization. They treated their employees as family. I subsequently learned that they treated their suppliers as part of their family. They certainly treated their customers as part of their family. They were also, I was very impressed how collaborative they were. They would call, if they had an issue with something on the floor, they would call a supplier in. And it wouldn't just be the purchasing person and the supplier. It would be the purchasing person, Don Eggleston. It would be me as the supplier. It would be Mark Mozo as the plant manager. It would be the guy on the floor where the problem developed. I've always marveled at how they promoted from within wherever possible. Don Eggleston started on the floor working out in the plant in manufacturing. When the opening arose to become a purchasing manager, their first choice was to pick Don. And he did a great job, and he was very fair and very honest. So when Don retired and Ross took over, he was well groomed along the same lines. He worked under Don. He came up from the floor also. Ross does the purchasing the exact same way that Don did it, with a lot of integrity, a lot of honesty. He valued his suppliers, but he demanded a lot of them. A lot of consistency in their organization, which is wonderful.
Kind of back in the early mid 80s, we were working closely with one of the large paint manufacturers. Morse had a standard 515S unit. We integrated it with a scale. We actually refined the whole 515 series. So that was probably the biggest advancement over the years with Bob Mozo and the engineering team. I'm grateful for what they bring to the table, because with that we can handle specific applications that other people can't. They continually develop new products. I think they've got their thumb on the pulse and are looking for new applications and new product to bring to the market.
You start to recognize vendors that are investing and that are trying to work with you and make good things happen. And so, Morse was that kind of company. The great thing about Morse is they give you a lead, but once you get in the door, of course, you've got other opportunities. Turn what I call a lead into a customer. They've got boots on the ground too, but their boots are in Syracuse on a phone, ready to assist you and help you. And that's a wonderful thing about Morse. When you go stainless steel or you go special, that's a really good opportunity for us to make better margins and to bypass the competition It's a high quality product. It's built well. It's well thought through.
You know what? My dad probably worked with Nate's grandfather. We're 40 plus years in, 45 probably plus, where we've been purchasing from Morse. I can't state, I wouldn't know how to calculate it, the amount of business we have done with customers where a Morse drum truck got us in the door. The maintenance men, the production managers, they know the Morse product because it's good quality. It's excellent quality. They do a super job. It's engineered product. And the stainless steel world, you want stainless, they can make it. And also in the explosion proof world, we just celebrated our 50th last year. Morse is rolling into their 100th. People of honesty and truth. One of the reasons I know with Nate and family that has made them hit that 100 years. And it's a congratulations to Morse on a phenomenal milestone. And I know they got another 100 plus years in them too. And we're just honored to run with them.
I'm happy for 100th anniversary for Morse Manufacturing.
Happy 100.
Kudos to Nate, Robert, and Robert's dad.
I'll certainly congratulate anybody on 100 years.
Congratulate them on 100 years.
Congratulations on 100 years. That's fantastic.